welcome. I'm Bonnie Graves, and it's my pleasure to be tasting some wine, and yes, it's the morning, in beautiful Pismo Beach, California. I wanted to introduce you today to what many are considering one of the flag bearers for cool wine in Pismo Beach. It's my pleasure to be chatting and tasting some wine with Mr. Ash Mehta this morning, and Ash is the proprietor of Tastes of the Valleys. I remember walking in here, I think when I first met you, it was some time ago, and I'm kind of a sommelier, a wino, and I come into a shop and I can kind of tell right away, is this, quote, a real wine shop, or is this sort of a tourist wine shop? And the minute I stepped in this place, I thought somebody who's passionate about wine is buying the wine here. It was almost like a treasure to discover this store. One of the things that I love about Pismo Beach and that I love about this area is it still has a tiny bit of the undiscovered feeling about it in terms of wine, which I think is amazing. So for a lot of people, they're like, oh, Pismo Beach, and we know there's great surf here, but there's serious wine here. And how do you think people, how do we explain what makes Pismo Beach and wine make sense? I mean, what's the story there?
Well, primarily because, look, Edna Valley is, what, 10 minutes away?
Right. Okay.
You've got tremendous wineries in Edna Valley, so we already have a wine country here. So when visitors are coming to this area, where do they stay? Yeah.
Let's locate that just a minute for people who may not be familiar. The whole Central Coast, which is, I think, outside of possibly the generic Sonoma Coast appellation, we're getting a little geeky here, but when we're talking about American viticultural areas, there's kind of the macro one, which is the Central Coast appellation, but within the Central Coast, there's these wonderful sort of smaller pockets, smaller appellations. You mentioned Edna Valley.
Correct.
Of course, we're talking about San Luis Obispo County. So what do you see are some of the trends here in Pismo of what grapes people are excited about?
We have a huge selection of wines. Okay,
right.
We've got
in a small space.
Exactly. We at last, I just counted this morning, and we've got about 774 different wines in here, of which about 750 are available by the glass. Every day, any day, it doesn't matter.
Cool.
You come in here and say, I would like a glass of Alden Petrina. No problem. You can have it.
Well, and I think it's really helped to kind of make Pismo Beach a wine tasting destination in and of itself. There's beautiful hotels and fun places to stay right here locally, so you don't necessarily have to get in your car and drive. There's quite a few tasting rooms that have opened up here in Pismo in general. You're one of several.
Exactly, and you don't need to drive because you have several hotels that are literally walking distance from the shop, from this Price Street corridor, and you've got another wine bar down the street, Pinot Versado. You've got Sans Liege, so you've got a lot of options here. And remember, wineries close about 5.
Yep.
So you can continue your wine adventure after that time.
Hello and welcome. I'm Bonnie Graves, and I'm very excited to be tasting wine on a gorgeous afternoon in Pismo Beach, California. And every time I come to Pismo, there's something new. And what I'm very excited about today is a brand new tasting room, at least new to me. I haven't been here before. With a husband and wife winemaking duo, we're tasting wine today at Sans Liege with Kurt and Kara Shacklin. So thank you very much for welcoming us. Why Pismo Beach? I will say my husband grew up in San Luis Obispo, and I think a lot of people think of Pismo and they think about surfing, or they think about family-friendly motels and or glamorous resorts. But I don't know that people immediately think of it for wine. So tell us what made you guys decide to kind of open up shop here and put your tasting room right here in Pismo?
Well, it's really pretty simple. So we live about 1.5 miles away from here, and I've been making wine now for over 10 years, and most of my neighbors don't even know what I do, and it was just kind of a decision Karen and I made. We want to become part of our community and get to know everybody that lives, around us, and it's been working. It's really great. We're about 50-50 people that come in are tourists and locals, so we're really establishing a really nice local community now with the tasting room, and it's great. They're all our neighbors. It's fun to meet our neighbors and share what we do with them.
And while you're tasting wine in Pismo Beach, don't forget 2 other terrific options. Pismo Beach Winery, which is a family-owned and operated boutique winery that makes fantastic wines from small lots. They've been making wine for more than 30 years. Brian and Martin Friedman are making exceptional wines under the Pismo Beach Winery label. And secondly, Vino Versado, great place to sit outside on the patio and do some people watching. They offer flights of wine, wines by the glass, bottle wines for purchase, a great selection of beers on tap. So be sure to check out Vino Versado on Price Street as well.